From Anshe Sfard Beth El Emeth Congregation, it's time to take 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein.
Welcome to our discussion of Parshat Pinechas, the nature of every day. The nature of every day. If we look in Parshat Pinechas, we have what seems like a Parshat HaMoadot, a collection of holidays. After all, it starts with you have Shabbat, you have Rosh Chodesh, you have Pesach, Shavuos, you have Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Sukkot. It's really a Parshat HaMoadot. What the Mishnah in Megillah refers to as Parshat HaMoadot Sheb'Torah Kohanim, the section of Moadim in the holidays in Vayikra and Leviticus, that's also a list. That list does not have a daily offering. You see, our Parsha has all the holidays, starting with Shabbat. Yom Tchilah K'rei Kodesh. We say in Kiddush on Friday night. Shabbat is always the first of all the holidays. But our Parsha in Pinchas starts with the daily offering, which is not a holiday. In what's known in Gemara Megillah as the Parshat HaMoadot, the section of holidays, the Parsha of holidays, in Parshat Emor in Leviticus, chapter 23, that doesn't have the daily offering. It just starts with Shabbat. So that's clearly a Parshat HaMoadim. That's clearly a section whose topic is the holidays. The question is this also Parshat HaMoadim? When the Mishnah refers to the Parsha of holidays in Torah Kohanim, Leviticus, it's as opposed to the other Parshat HaMoadim. What's the other Parshat HaMoadim? The other Parsha that has all the holidays is Pinchas. But it's not a list of holidays. It starts with the daily. It starts with the daily offering. So how does the Mishnah there refer to the readings that we read on Sukkot from Parshat Pinchas? It's Korbanot HaChag. These are the Korbanot, it's the Korbanos. This is a section of all the different offerings from a daily basis. And then since on Shabbat and on Rosh Chodesh and holidays, you add to the daily offerings. Therefore, it has to list what are the daily offerings and what offerings are added to the daily offering on Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkot, etc. So our Parsha then is not a list of holidays. It's a list of sacrifices. And sacrifices change when it's a holiday. So that's one way of looking at it. However, one could say that just like you have Torah, Parshat HaMoadot, you have a Parsha of holidays in Emor, in Leviticus 23. So too, in Numbers 28, in Parshat Pinchas, you have a list of holidays. What about the daily offering? So one could suggest as follows. One could suggest that the Parsha is making a radical statement. And the statement is, that don't think you have every day, you have your daily situation, and then something else called a holiday. No. Every day contains within it the daily offering, and what we do in a holiday is we simply add to it. So Shabbat is like a regular day, only it's double. It's twice as much as a regular day. Sukkot is like a regular day, but on top of it, it has the holiday offerings, which are very extensive. So then what is the nature of a day? So you could say that the foundation of a holiday is there on a regular day as well. In other words, it's not that we turn on a special switch called a holiday switch, Mikra Kodesh, a holy convocation, and we declare that switch and we turn that switch on just for Shabbat, just for Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur. No. There's a switch that's already on. It's called the daily offering. It's called every day, the nature of every day. And then that switch, you simply turn up the thermostat, and it's Shabbat, or it's Pesach. In other words, it's not that there's a qualitative difference between a regular day and Shabbat or Sukkot. There's sort of a quantitative difference. You have a certain amount of holiness, access to God on a regular basis. And it's simply augmented on Shabbat and on the holidays. For instance, one may look at it like this. to what extent do we have access to God? He says, well, you have an obligation and therefore a responsibility and an opportunity to bring 2 communal offerings, a sheep in the morning, a sheep in the afternoon, every day. You have that opportunity. We, the congregation, we, the people, have a right as a congregation to approach God and say, hey, we, the community, are bringing you a sacrifice. You want to bring 3 sacrifices a day? No, you can't do that. You can only bring 2 communal sacrifices. However, on Shabbat, God says, come on over. Bring 4. On Pesach, a whole bunch. 7 of this and 2 of that. And on Sukkot, it goes on and on. 14, 13 different cows and sheep, and it's over 20 different sacrifices. So you have more opportunities. If you think about it in today's terms, we have, on a daily basis, you have a heter, you have a matir, you have an opportunity to say shachrit, to say the daily offering, to stand in front of God once in the morning, once in the afternoon, once in the evening. Why? Because Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov did it. Because there were daily offerings that were once offered. And at night there was always something on the altar. But that's it. You can't just say, okay, I'm going to daven mincha later, but I think I'll say another one now. I want to talk to God. I said, no. Rabbi Yochanan says you could, but we say no. You can't do that. You have to wait for the official time. You don't have that opportunity. But on Shabbat, we say, no, you have another chance. And in Yom Kippur, we say you have another chance. 5 opportunities. Shachris, Mincha, Mariv, Musaf, the additional service, and Ne'ilah, the closing service. 5 opportunities. It reflects the fact that on Yom Kippur there are lots of sacrifices. So you might look at it the same way. What's the difference between Shabbat and a regular day? Every day a Jew has an opportunity to connect with God. It doesn't have to be Shabbat. This is not some religion in which you show up on one particular day of the week and that's it. No. You have an opportunity to connect with God every day, but it's limited. How long can you make Shachrit last? You could do it an hour, 2 hours, an hour and a half. But on Shabbat, we can drag it out for 2, 3 hours, 4 hours. Why? Because we have Shacharit, we have Musaf, we have more stuff. And it's a greater opportunity to connect with God. Yom Kippur, a whole day opportunity to connect with God through various amidot, various standing before God. So, what do we have here in this parsha? We have, one might argue, that it's not a parsha of holidays at all. It's a parsha of sacrifices. On a daily basis, you have these sacrifices. Shabbat, you had more sacrifices. And holidays, you have others. Argument number 1. Argument number 2. There's no qualitative difference between Shabbat and a regular day. They're all festive. And there's only a quantitative difference. How festive is it? Shabbat and holidays are more festive. And we have a third option, and that is that what is a holiday is an opportunity to connect with God. As the Ramban says, you can go to Shul, Mikra Kodesh, you can gather with the minyan, with the congregation, you can go to Shul, you can go to the Beis HaMikdash, the Holy Temple. But you know what? You can do that every day. You can go to Shul, maybe it's a smaller crowd, everyone's busy, they're going to work, but there's a crowd, there's some people, there's a minyan. You can go and you can hang out with them. That you can do every day. But you can do it big time, when everyone's available, everyone's off from work, and everybody can gather together. And that's a greater time of opportunity, of Kedusha. And God says, you know what? I want to hear from you more on that day. Give me more sacrifices. Give me another Amidah. Give me an additional service. Give me a Ne'ilah. I'll give you another opportunity to talk and shmooze and stand before me in prayer. So what's the nature of a day? One might argue that the nature of a day is that it has within it the seed of a holiday, the seed of being from something very special. But doesn't quite reach that bar of being a holiday. Every day is every day. It's not Shabbos, it's not Sukkot. But it has that potential, it's the beginning of being some kind of holiday. Or, so what's the nature of every day? Every day we have a pretty nice amount of opportunities to reach God 2-3 times a day. But on a holiday, you have greater opportunity to reach God. The nature of holidays is that greater opportunity. Mikra Kodesh is a holy gathering that you could reach God even more. So why does the Parsha of Pinechas begin with the daily offering when actually that's not a holiday. What is it doing in this list of holidays? And the answer is that according to the third answer, the answer is the daily has X amount of opportunities to reach God, and the holidays are simply building on that, more opportunities to reach God. What's fascinating, as Rabbi Soloveitchik pointed out, is that Rosh Chodesh is just in the middle there. Shabbos itself is ambiguous. Is it truly a holiday or not? If you look in Vayikra, it's ambiguous. Is it part of the holiday list? Is it not? And Rosh Chodesh is also very ambiguous. Where's the Mikra Kodesh? Where's the forbidden work? We don't have it. So what kind of holiday is it? So Rabbi Soloveitchik said there's the Rosh Chodesh man. There's a notion of having a day that's special, but you can't tell. Nobody can tell. They look at me and they say, Rabbi, I didn't know it was a holiday. I don't know. You went to the service this morning. You said an extra musaf. You approached God one extra time. I can't tell. I look like I'm at work. I look like I'm everybody else, like everyone else. It's a regular day. But actually, I had an opportunity to speak to God one additional time, additional service. It was the olden days. I'd bring an additional sacrifice as a community. That day, we have an additional chance to connect with God. So there is something called Rosh Chodesh, which is somewhere in between the daily and a holiday. It's a greater opportunity to connect with God, and yet it's not everyone gathering together. People are still working. Maybe they get together for lunch or for a special meal over bread, like Samuel did, as King Saul did with some of his family. It's a chance to connect with other tribes, other people. So, what's the nature of the daily of every day? It's a chance to connect with God. Thank you for joining us here at the Anshe Sefard Beth Elameth congregation for our discussion of Parshat Pinechas. Join us each week, our discussion of the Parsha and the holidays. And thanks to Jason Lefkowitz, our producer. Thank you.
This has been 10 Minutes for Torah with Rabbi Joel Finkelstein. To learn more, visit asb.org.